Okay, Pulinananji, welcome everybody. Can you do Trimantra, Akshabhai, Karabai, please follow.
Namo Vitragay,
Namo Vitragay,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vazzayanam,
Namo Vasayanam,
Namo Loe Sawa Sahunam.
Namo Loe Sawa Sahunam,
Eso Panchanamukaro,
Eso Panchanamukaro,
Saubhavapanasano,
Sauvapavapanasano,
Manglananja Savesim,
Manglanam Cha Sauvesim,
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand Mahatma. Welcome to the English version of the Satsang on Vitrag, Vignan, holistic science. Anybody has a question? Oh, Akshabhai has a question. Okay, Akshabhai.
Jai Satchidanand Pulinananji.
Jai Satchidanand.
My question is related to responsibilities that we have as an employee at office, and overall responsibility in multiple things. But particularly, I want to understand related to office first, and then it applies everywhere. So the question is, the situation that I get caught is, let's say, in my office, we are working on a project. A project is ran by multiple people, one engineer, one sourcing guy, one would be a testing guy, so different people. And I am engineer. I'm just an engineer on project. Then when we are sitting in a project team meeting, it is not my responsibility to talk with a supplier. It is someone else's responsibility to talk with the supplier. How can I put up problems that I can foresee, on the other person's role, or neutrally? Because what happens if I put it very direct, other person's ego gets hurt, or my boss would say, it was not your responsibility. Why are you asking question, or why are you interfering? And then you are putting the cap on your own self. You are taking the responsibility on your own. But the question is, why the question is, I can always say this is not my responsibility. So I don't care. Basically, that's usually an approach that many times all of our colleagues talk about. Not my responsibility. I don't care. But we are an organization. We are a group. If the other person is not going to do his role, the organization will suffer as a whole. So I've been talking about this with my supervisor too, our manager too. And good thing is he's very open. He gave me one suggestion to ask questions, open-ended questions. But I'm trying to because even open-ended questions are difficult to create. First, I have to have very good clarity. Only then I can be able to ask open-ended questions. So my question here is, how can I put tell anything about other person's role or other person's thing in a neutral way in a team meeting setup.
Okay, so if I may summarize, your question is you are a part of a project team which is supposed to do something, and you, in the best interest of the company, you foresee that there will be problems down the line if some other member of the team didn't perform the task he's been assigned in time. And you are concerned in the best interest of the team and the company that such and such preventive action or action should be taken. Now, there are only two things in this. What is your concern has to be the concern of the team leader of that project team, because someone is going to lead the team, isn't it? Who is responsible for the proper execution of the project on behalf of the company. So really speaking, it should be his concern, and he has to see that all the participants of the team do their things on assignments on time. So in a polite manner, best thing is to talk to that team leader that these are the point activities 1, 2, 3, and I see that this activity, if not done in time, can lead to a bottleneck of the project. So you see activities 1, 2, 3. If this activity is not done on time, it could lead to a bottleneck of the execution or the final delivery of the project. If you put it in terms of those things, person independent, you are sharing your concern with the person who should be really concerned, meaning the team leader.
Right.
First, I think that is all you can do. What you have done is true. Okay, you have taken your supervisor or your boss or your manager into confidence, and he's saying, take it easy. I mean, there's nothing much can be done. So he feels he cannot do much about it. If you're concerned and being a member of the team, you can definitely outside the meeting, you have to talk to him that although we have decided this, I foresee these things. What do you feel about it? That's the way of asking open-ended question. Open-ended means that I see that activities 1, 2, 3 need to be also done like this. If this will be not there, they will hold up this thing. I have this concern. What do you feel? So ask him to think over it. And if he agrees with your viewpoint, he will do the needful and ask that other respective team member to do what he's supposed to do on time.
Right.
Because that is one way. Otherwise, sometimes what happens if the team member, the other person like you who is concerned is a senior member of the team, he can put a leading question that that we have decided tasks 1, 2, 3, 4, and if these tasks fall in place, I think it should be okay. But what about this task? Now, if you are not in a position of that seniority where people will not get offended by such a question, then then don't put it in the team.
Right.
Because you see, what happens in typical is he will have a grudge against you. So
Yes.
which is not helping you personally or professionally, neither in your career. And then such animosity then goes ahead. And sometimes he will take revenge in some other project in future.
Right.
We are hurting someone's ego, ultimately.
Exactly.
So from the business or the worldly viewpoint also, you don't talk to him directly unless you're on terms and you can share your peace of mind, which doesn't appear to be the case here. So you have to voice your concern to the project team manager. If he's open to it, fine. Otherwise, just leave it at that. If he feels very concerned about it, then you can do a very short, goodwill prayer. That is, give him the good intellect. Give that person, that team member, the good intellect to foresee and do this work in the best interest of the company. So just say that short concern prayer in a sadbuddhi and leave it at that.
Okay.
Now that is, this thing that I'm told you is not the solution to the company's problem. It is a solution to your concern, which is by biting you.
Yes.
If your concern, the company will suffer, the project will suffer. So to put an end to your concern and you're suffering, you are going to say this prayer.
Prayer.
So that you remain Vitrag. See, the bottom line of all our vyavhar, whether at the person, whether at the office, in our professional field or in our personal life, the bottom line is, according to Dada science, we all want to go to moksha. So in the process, whatever vyavhar we have brought, worldly dealings that we have brought, those worldly dealings have to be squared up, vitragta, without attachment and abhorrence,
Right.
Equanimously. So the key thing to be in our awareness is that this is the file and I want to square it up. May he get the wisdom, a good intellect to do things on time, and leave it at that. And if you're really concerned and if it's just coming very strongly within you, pray to Dada and the supervisor, the team leaders, Shuddhatma, that may he understand my viewpoint, and then politely put across your viewpoint. That, and it's person independent. See, the basically open questions is person independent and open. In the last meeting, it was like this. I felt that if this topic or this assignment or this work is not done accordingly, then the project will have this repercussion. This is my concern. I'm sharing with you. See what you feel, and leave it at that. So it's not an allegation to a person. It is a project or an activity oriented, neutral concern without having any bias or against the person who is supposed to do it. What we typically call as Syadvad Vani, Syadvad Vartan, and Syadvad Manan. Non-hurting speech, thought, and actions in our first two columns. So this will fall in line with that. You have to ask that question, that Shakti. You have to ask for that power, that may I speak in a manner which will not hurt the ego of anybody by listening, and may I speak in that manner. But once you ask for that strength, and then voice your concern, and then just see how it flows. If it is in the best interest of the company, maybe it's taken up. Maybe it's not agreeable right now. Maybe the supervisor may come around to your viewpoint sometime down the line, say 2 weeks, 1 month later. Or Akshay was telling that day, it makes sense. Some things don't fall in place the way we want it at the time we want it. In life, this is general. Sometimes people will appreciate your viewpoint later, sometimes much later. We have a concern, I have said this, why he's not listening? Why he's not understanding? We sometimes get impatient. Now,
exactly.
This is exactly what Dada Bhagwan did, and I have also gone through it. It is my experience. We feel so strongly that in the best interest of everybody, this is the right thing. Why people are not understanding it? Now, that is our intellect who is making us emotional.
Right.
Well, I see a severe loss if someone doesn't do it.
Yes. Exactly.
When profit and loss comes, it is the intellect that is into foreplay.
Correct. Huh? And then the moment tip over is, if no one listens, then the other moment is, I don't care then. I'm never going to speak anything now onwards. So
you flip from one extreme to the other extreme.
Right, exactly.
So these are all characteristics of ego and intellect.
Right.
Viprit intellect, not the samyak intellect. So this is a typical symptom, and ego and intellect go hand in hand. So your first thing is why this is happening? It is the foreplay of intellect and ego. Number 2, what is the solution? The solution is to pray and then put forward your viewpoint to the supervisor, team leader, who is anyway responsible for the movement of the project, and leave it at that. And so basically, Akshay will feel good. Yes, I have done something for the concern that was bubbling inside me. You have spoken, you have done what is in your interest. And tell Akshay, okay, take it easy. Ultimately, it will happen. The project will flow according to the design of Vyavasthit Shakti. But attempt should be done. A genuine concern, And if it's because your genuine concern, I'm only saying how you can put across your viewpoint in a Syadwad manner, open-ended question and non-biased question. You're not hurting the ego of anybody. The key thing is Vitrakta, the key thing is not to hurt anyone's ego. For that, you ask for the strength, put across a viewpoint, see if it is accepted, fine, not accepted, wait. I can assure you from my experience that at times, I have put forward some proposal, we should do this is good. People have really run me down. No, it doesn't make sense. But 6 months down the line, 3 months down the line, they are, yeah, you were right. And then they agree to you. So we should not be forceful on it. If we are right, we are right. Dada Bhagwan used to tell so many things to so many Mahatmas and Aptputras at that point of time. We did not understand the importance of that thing. But now we are realizing, yes, that day Dada Bhagwan said like this, that day Dada Bhagwan said like this. How true, how true. And then we have tremendous respect for him, Oh, great. Had I listened to you earlier, it would be very nice. Now, this is exactly what we have to do in all our dealings, home or office.
Right.
Put across a viewpoint and leave it. Because Dada Bhagwan never crossed the boundary of Syadwad. Non-hurting mind, speech, body, he never crossed. He realized he's not understanding now. Maybe the time has not ripened for the best interest of the other person. Any punya jagvi jo hai na, his good luck, his fortune has to, ripen. So he knew it. He was really patient. He knew it. If not today, tomorrow the fellow will understand. Because the intentions are good. The intentions are not to hurt the other person and for his well-being. In this case, not to hurt your colleague and the well-being of the company or the project. So it is intentions that matter. Vitrag matters. That matters. So pray, say this thing, put across a word, and then wait and watch. Maybe sometime down the line, few weeks, 2 months down the line, people will realize your point. Maybe your manager or the project in charge realizes next time we'll ask. Then you know what? If he really feels, yes, Akshay, at that point of time, what he said made sense. What will happen is, you know what? Things will happen. Very important. So you are not hurt the ego of that person who is not doing the work according to your this thing. Number one. So you have not generated revenge animosity, which is very, very important on Moksha Marg. Not to generate any unnecessary animosity. This is unnecessary animosity. That is the biggest thing. It's a victory of not hurting. So next time when you talk to him, he's open to you. Otherwise, your links will cut, relations break down. So that is the greatest thing you have won, number one. It's like winning the battle and losing the war. You may win and hurt that fellow, but then you have lost the war. The relations will be always sour. So that's the long side Gnani Purush used to hold, So you're not hurt him. So that is number one. Number two, you have generated goodwill in the eyes of your project manager. But here, these are average team members. Here is a person who is concerned for the company. And I tell you, in the corporate world, people only rise ahead from manager to leader who go one step more than their role play and are concerned for the interest of the company. Those people are selected in leadership roles. Here is a person who thinks 2 steps ahead, not only his interest of the company. Now, this is a very, very key earning in your professional life. Very key earning. People don't realize the importance of this. All youngsters are very, ambitious and fast and this and that. But this plays a very important role in interpersonal skills or human relations at work. Because they understand this is the person who will get along with people. And leaders need to be people who can get along with people because they have to get work through people. They have only a vision, but execution is through people. So if you are not a good leader and not a good human person on human interaction, you can't be a good leader. You can't be a successful leader, let me put it that way.
True.
So you are from the Dada's viewpoint, from the Moksha Marga viewpoint, you have remained Vitrag. You have expressed your viewpoint for the well-being of the company and the project. And take it cool. If not today, tomorrow it will be recognized. And dekha jayega. Because you are not only the person doing it. Now, even if you pushed it, someone is not agreeable to it, then people will unless throw you down and the project will anyway suffer. If project is
Right.
destined to be suffer, you cannot do anything about it.
Correct.
And you will realize this in your personal life also. Not now, maybe sometime. There are some things in life, where in spite of knowing it, things don't fall in place the way we want, and we go through a cycle of suffering and then come out. Typically, one example that comes to my mind, otherwise also, is that look at our country, India. It was destined to suffer at the hands of the Muslims. Those time of this thing, Akbar and people before,
Right. Right.
and all those guys. It was destined to suffer at the hand of the Britishers. We had very good kings, we had very good warriors, but the Britishers somehow, enticed them with some small things, and then they backhand. We lost because of our own people, not because of the British.
Right.
So the country was anyway destined to suffer. There were some war heroes like Shivaji's and some other people who really fought it on their own. Till they were alive, they resisted the British. You understand? But if the waiver says that you have to go through that slavery and then come out, and what can you do?
Correct.
This is just a very big global vision. In the best, whatever is in your hands, to the level best you try. What is the boundary? The boundary is Syadvad Vani Vartan Mana, non-hurting mind, speech, action, and Vitragda. But within that boundary, whatever best attempts you can do, you should do. So that is the answer to your pointed question of project management or work like that. Same thing will apply in your personal life. We have to put across our viewpoints. Here we have little more liberty. Dramatic kadkai karwani shakti aapko. Let me do some dramatic, sternness. Let me show some dramatic sternness. Dramatic. I'm not really against the person, but I will just make a drama of it. And then speak out, especially with children, or where you are in a place where you have to enforce some discipline. So there we have that additional tool which we can use to do our role play as well as remain Vitrag and proceed on the Moksha Marga. The key, and I tell you, in all this, the fourth Agna is definitely a very helping thing. And Dada, this file has erupted, the file has come up, and let me square it up, equanimously, Sambhavinika, and with animosity, Sambhavinika. So, if nothing else comes on, just the fourth Agna, then you know what to do, how to behave in a non-hurting manner.
Right.
And that will pop up, and then just flow. Sometimes your Jagrati will be on the top, sometimes the inside karmas will be on the top. There will always be a seesaw,
Yes.
But by experience of using the Gnan, you will be able to get stabilized at some point of time. And your experience will then again help you in your future experience.
WhatsApp audio.
Understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, Jai Sajanan, very good. Kashyap bhai.
Jai Sachiran, everyone. Rajniti, Jai Sachiran,
Jai
Pulinananji,
Sachiran.
Jai Sachiran. Can you allow me to share the screen?
Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Westminster. Yes. Are you able to see the screen?
Not yet. Okay,
Yes. Some Anubhav Gnan Vignan. Okay.
Anubhav Gyan Vignan. So I want to have a query again on the last paragraph. હું જે બોલું છું એ તો જ્ઞાન છે, પણ જેની બુદ્ધિ જરા સમ્યક થયેલી હોય, સમ્યક એટલે સારી સુગંધવાળી. This one sentence I want more understanding. What is meaning સુગંધવાળી? તો તરત મારું જ્ઞાન સમજાય એવું છે. જ્ઞાન બુદ્ધિથી સમજાય ખરું પણ બુદ્ધિથી બોલાઈ શકાય નથી. બુદ્ધિથી આ વિજ્ઞાન બોલી શકાય નથી. વિજ્ઞાન એટલે ચૈતન્ય જ્ઞાન જેવું એનો મેલે જ કામ કરે. So Gyan and Vigyan is the same or it is different here? This is also my second.
Yeah, okay. Just I will very briefly read the para above, so that we understand the context in which this has been. This is the Dada Bhagwan's quote.
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. I just read. જ્ઞાની પુરુષ આત્મા જોતા હોય, અનુભવ્ય હોય, એટલે એ જ્ઞાની પુરુષ પછી જ્યાંથી વાણી બોધે તે બધું ચોખ્ખું જ હોય. ઓકે. હા, અમારા એક એક શબ્દો અનંત શાસ્ત્રો રચ્યા છે, તેમાં સહેજ પણ પાસરો હેડ્યો તો કામ જ કાઢી નાખશે. એક અવતારી થઈ જાય એવું આ વિજ્ઞાન છે. તમારા લાખ અવતાર કપાઈ જશે. આ વિજ્ઞાનથી રાગ દ્વેષ ઉડી જાય અને દ્વેષ ઉડી જાય અને વિતરાગ થઈ જવાય. ગુરુ લઘુ સ્વભાવ થઈ જવાય. એટલે આ વિજ્ઞાન એવો બધો ઉઠાવવાનો તેનો ઓછો છે. જેટલો લાભ ઉઠાવો એટલો ઓછો છે. ઓકે, ફાઇન. નાઉ કમિંગ ટુ ધ લાસ્ટ પેરા. હું જે બોલું છે તો જ્ઞાન છે, પણ જેની બુદ્ધિ જરા સમ્યક થયેલી હોય, સમ્યક એટલે સારી સુગંધ વાળી, તો તબ મારું જ્ઞાન સમજાય એવું છે. જ્ઞાન બુદ્ધિથી સમજાય ખરું, પણ બુદ્ધિથી બોલી શકાય નહીં. બુદ્ધિથી આ વિજ્ઞાન બોલી શકાય નહીં. વિજ્ઞાન એટલે ચૈતન્ય જ્ઞાન જેવું એને કામ. ઓકે, ફાઇન. સો સી what Dada Bhagwan is saying is, whatever I am saying, it can be understood by the intellect to some extent. Whatever Dada Bhagwan is saying, પણ એની બુદ્ધિ સમ્યક થયેલી હોવી જોઈએ. એટલે કે he must be an open intellect person, સમ્યક any a straight intellect which is open from to understand both viewpoints and in the interest of permanent happiness. Samyak really means knowing who one truly is, but in somewhere in that context, that someone who knows that I am the spirit and I have to understand where true happiness is, where he is open to suggestions towards permanent happiness. Someone whose intellect is molded or sort of in that category. That is the meaning of Samyak Thayali and Sugandhwadi. Sugandhwadi, yani when even he talks or gives a suggestion to someone based on his intellect, supposing someone has a problem and he is offering solutions, so he will speak in a manner, and number two, his solutions will be offered in a manner where the other person will feel good, not that this fellow is talking all nonsense, he's talking one-sided, he's got biased. No, the other person will also feel, yeah, I think what he's saying makes sense. Sugandhwadi, yani the other person will get the fragrance. Literally speaking, it is fragrance, but the meaning is not of that type, Other person will feel good about what your intellect or intellectual viewpoint is. That is the meaning of that word.
They will appreciate the other.
Yes. Your viewpoint will be appreciated. It will not be hurting. They may accept, not accept is a different matter, but they will appreciate. So person who has got this type of intellect will be able to understand my knowledge, whatever I am trying to say, in terms of Atma, Vignan, all that. So what Dada is saying is that with the help of this buddhi or this intellect, to some extent we can understand. But the Vignan, that experience that I am the soul, and the experience of Gnata Drashta, the observer and knower seer experience, that everything cannot be put in words. Everything cannot be understood by the intellect. At the level of the words, it can be understood. But something is beyond the words. So that Vignan, that experience of the soul, that is beyond words. That is that Vignan and Chaitanya Gyan, he's saying. So
Gyan and Vigyan is the same, or here it is different?
No, it is different. It is different. Far different. Far different.
What is the difference? But he says Gyan also cannot be understood. Gyan can be also not spoken, and Vigyan also cannot be spoken, he says.
No. Ek minute. But buddhi thi actually it's not boli shakai. I don't know. It should be bodhi shakai, You see what he is saying is Gnan samjay kharu. Gnan buddhi thi samjay kharu, but buddhi thi boli shakai nahi. Yani you may be able to understand to some extent, but you may not be able to express it and make someone else understand it. Boli na shakai etle you may not be able to express it in exact manner so that the other person understands. And if that Vignan, that experience, you can't. Sugar is sweet, for example, sugar is sweet. Then that is knowledge. But what is sweet? How do you tell to, or how do you convey that? That is unless you put the sugar in his mouth, he will understand what is sweetness. You see. So to an extent, with the intellect, you can say sugar is sweet. Sweet means like mango. Sweet means like this. So to some extent, you can verbalize it. But beyond that, it cannot be done. That's what he's saying. Buddhi thi boli na shaka, એટલે that the exact feeling or that cannot be verbalized.
So what is Gyan and what is Vigyan? Please tell.
Vignan is all this, whatever we are talking. Vignan is that where nothing has to be done. One can experience it or observe it. That is the Vignan part of it. Vignan એટલું સરસ છે કે that I am the pure soul, and whatever worldly activities are happening, they are happening on the principles of cause and effect, scientific circumstantial evidence, and if you are caught in this position, you should be doing this. This science, the science of how your mind, body, speech operates, the science how karmas operate, the science how happiness comes, this entire is the science. This is that wonderful science. That's what it says. Vignan આટલું અદ્ભુત છે કે કામ કાઢી નાખે. Chaitanya એટલે the spiritual science.
So the Gyan is not cannot be spoken, cannot be expressed, but even the Gyan also cannot be expressed many times.
No, don't take it literally. You see, every sentence is spoken with reference to somebody in mind and for someone. So we cannot just put it out of context, Gyan can be expressed to some extent, but after some time you cannot ignore. Now you go to someone, you try to talk to him about the soul, this, that. To some extent you will talk to him. Beyond that, you will not be able to talk to him. So it has to be taken at the gross level. Take the arc, the gross meaning that emerges.
Actually, what
don't
happens,
go literally by the words. Don't go literally by the words.
What happens is that sometimes even in the Aptwanis and detailed text also, there's only mentioned some extracts from the speech, so the whole context is not understandable even there.
So the answer to that is not only you, this will happen much more because unless you have heard it from the person directly or have got the gist or the essence of it, this will happen. So what happens is, what I would suggest is that some things which are not very clear now, leave it on hold, pending, leave it pending and pray to Dada Bhagwan. That is why we do in our daily prayers, we say, કે દાદા ભગવાનનું વિતરાગ વિજ્ઞાન યથાર્થાએ કરીને exactly સંપૂર્ણ સર્વાંગ પડે in totality, and may I able to be understand, we pray that, hey Dada Bhagwan, may I understand your Vitrag Vignan in totality and exactly as you want to mean it from you. And that prayer is a must for all of us. And as soon as our vision will open up, we'll be able to understand the true meaning behind the words that are spoken.
Yeah, Deepakanji said that when you are listening direct one-to-one, then it is pratyaksh. But as soon as it is not direct one-to-one, then it is not pratyaksh. So that is why maybe the context is not there.
This whole happens with everybody. Lord Krishna, he said something to Arjuna. Although we have the literal things in the Gita, but the interpretation of Gita is all varied, and Dada Bhagwan has opened up, it was not this thing, what people are saying, but Krishna Bhagwan meant this, So the gist will only come from the whatever saying the Gnani Purush has said, he is saying from his own experience. Now, unless we reach that experience or have an inkling of that experience, we have to understand what those words wants to say,
Yeah.
So it's a process. All of us are going through that process. There's nothing wrong in that. So at times I also leave it open, some things which I don't understand, I leave it open or pending, like if I may say so. After some time we are able to understand it. Till then we have many other purushas to carry on.
Thank you very much. Jai Satchidanand.
Yes.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay. Sheetal Ben.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Pulinananji, something happened that made me very upset yesterday. I want to understand where I went wrong. So it's work related. Like, yes, 2 days ago, I had a lot of work, and so I had to work late. So I did. and I worked late into the night, finished it. And then the next day, which was yesterday, I was like, okay, I should be caught up. Let's, so this should be normal. But no, at the end of the day, I had too much left over and couldn't finish it. And there are deadlines. So then, but I also have home responsibilities in the evening. So I had to step away from it. And, but first I spent, there were so many things. I was angry. I couldn't let work go. I couldn't focus on, family. I was doing stuff, but my mind was, should I just put in another 3 hours tonight to get it done? Should I work over the weekend? And then I was angry, like, should I be more, why am I not more efficient? Or why is there more work coming all the time? And I just couldn't accept. And it's just, so how to just accept this and move on, I guess, and deal with it.
You see, basically what we have to understand is, it is too much work coming together at the same time, or if I may say so, we are unable to cope with the work. We are unable to cope with the work, which is leading us to suffer, essentially.
Frustrate. Yeah.
Frustration.
Yeah.
So in terms of Agna, the first thing that you should do is that so many files have cropped up. Give me the strength to do Sambhava Nikaya. That is the first thing that you have to do, number one. Number two, try your best with your work. And sometimes if you feel you're stuck up, you're not able to move or understand, so take a break of 5 or 10 minutes. Do Anand Darshan, Vadochu, Anand Darshan, Vadochu, Anand Darshan. Dada mane make me understand what is the solution or how to approach this work. If that is the issue, then you may take a pause. Or sometimes when things are not falling in place, just simply take a pause, deep breath, 5-10 minutes here and there, walk here and there, and then clarity will emerge. This is when you are attending to your job where too much work is there. Sometimes there are some shortcuts which we are not able to understand or find out, and we go the long way. And that's where we are going in.
Yeah, 2 days later, I'm like, why did I spend so much time doing this? I should have just done this. That happens.
That is the reason where whenever things go out of control in terms of time, you must understand we have not understood the right path or the right solution or their approach to the whatever task.
So then does that mean that whatever task comes in front of you, it's doable in the right amount of time, but
somehow we're not able to manage it.
Okay.
Or it can happen sometimes. The task really may be long and maybe you are short of time. That will also happen. But then you have to at times pull in that, just put a shutter, that file, this is the file, and let me do Sambhava Nikaya and stop it, the work at that point of time. And because you have family responsibilities, so after some time, go to your home and other activities, family responsibilities. Just keep the mind on hold, keep the intellect hold. Okay, I will attend to you later on. Finish. That overlap is what was causing the confusion. Office workload overlaps on your mind so much that you're not able to focus your domestic course. So there you have to just put a break. But for some reason, this project is complete only this much. It calls for so much. Dada, I'm leaving this temporarily on hold. Now let me look at these files, the home files. Say that within yourself, so that mind and intellect, which will otherwise will keep popping on that, I should do this, I should do that. Then your cutting and the vegetable cutting will all go and stop. So spin, That is called remaining in Vartman. Remaining in the present. To remain in the present, it calls for training of the mind. It's not so easy, but it calls for the training your own self. I used to put a shutter, attend to these files, and then attend to that if you want to. I'm saying also the second solution is just visualize what could be the worst case scenario. Supposing you're not able to do that office work in time. Supposing that has got delayed, what will happen? You will get fired, the work will suffer. What will happen? What is the worst that is going to happen? Play it along. Forget it. You have tried your level best. There's something beyond your capacity. When time permits, I'll devote more time to it. This much
Yeah,
to
it's that fear કે નહીં થાય તો એટલે વર્તમાનમાં નથી આવતું. Like I can't leave work
હું તો કહું
behind
છું
while
નહીં થાય તો બી શું છે? Even if it doesn't work, what's going to happen? That's what we call as the worst case scenario. It's there.
Worst case is really it'll be late and I will say I need to move this meeting because I'm not ready. That's the worst
And what
case
will happen if you say that? And what will happen if you say that?
Well, nothing will really happen, but it makes me feel like I didn't deliver and makes me look bad at work.
Yes. So you will appear to be an inferior performance player. Your performance
Yes.
is not at par.
Yes.
Forget it. That's part of Bogota.
Okay.
Because otherwise
Okay.
also you are suffering because you are an inferior or you could not deliver that.
Yes.
Deliver. So suffer only once, now why suffer twice? So where possible, I'm not saying you should do it this way because you have to weigh the pros and cons of the assignment at office also.
Right.
And just dump
There are
everything
some.
down. Something which is
Yeah.
hypercritical is hypercritical and you have to do means you
Right.
have to do.
Right. Right.
So that pros and cons, so you will have to weigh.
Yeah.
But you see, a file says Sambhava Nikal, this is a file somewhere, and if you're getting too overwhelmed, pause, takes a few deep breaths. Darshan and just cool down, let your chitta come down, try to get focused, and then you approach the problem again.
Okay.
The work.
Yeah. So
and just see the best you can do. And at times you can say, sorry, I've been able to only do this much. I need to do it. Once in a while, take an extension on the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once in a while, you have to extend the meeting. Once in a while, you have to extend your working hours late night.
Right. Right. So what you're saying is that the work
Don't
is
feel
doable.
bad. All I'm saying is, Sheetal Ben, that we all have to learn to accept that this is another form of suffering. Part of our papa karma. One is outright bluntly someone will insult you. One is thing your child will harass you. One thing someone is not there. Or your foot got this thing and you got hurt. You tripped somewhere and you got hurt. This is direct Bogota of this body or of someone talking to you of the speech or something.
Okay, right.
You getting caught in a situation where there is mental suffering. This is mental suffering.
Yes.
So we have to accept this as part of our pap karma. Everything is not solvable. There are times when I'm also down on the health with this thing. I try my level best, but I can literally see Vyavasthit that in spite of eat this, don't eat this fruit, do this, don't do. But still there a situation will come where you will not be able to do it, or in spite of doing that, you will still suffer. So I can clearly see that the suffering is still not extinguished. So you're caught in a place and you have to wait till you square up that account. This is also to wait to square up that account.
Wait to square up that account. But some of the mental suffering is
if it is your own generated, that I want to be a peak performer, I'm superior, I can deliver this, that ambition wala part you have to then curtail.
Accept reality. Okay.
Then you have to curtail that ambition. You can keep the ambition. I'm not saying don't be ambitious. Keep the ambition, but say that today my situation permits me to only go to this level. I have the capacity to go to this level. But today my circumstances permit me to go to this level, except that my performance level is going to be at this level. This is Vyavasthit. I aim for this. And so this suffering of not being able to go to level A and remaining at level B is your problem. And that is what's causing the pain to you.
Yes.
You have a capacity to do more and you're not able to do to your capacity. That is
Yes, I mean, yeah, because
That's what
there
Bhagwan had also told me once. Okay, Pulintu, you strengthen the 5 agnas, don't strengthen that part of it. This is taking an overload on yourself. This is self-imposed overload.
Mm,
I know I can do this, but why it's not happening?
yes, yes.
So
Okay.
the answer is don't have that ambition, have that capacity, but play with the situation. If the circumstances are of that nature where you cannot go beyond a level, then you just accept that. But keep the ambition. Tomorrow, when the circumstances change, maybe you'll be able to do what you are ankling for or aiming for.
Yeah, so some days I have so much clarity, things just go smoothly, things get done, I'm done, I have free time sometimes. And so I feel like, why can't I be like that every day? Like it should be like that every day, but it isn't, my mind is.
But this is exactly what you have to understand and appreciate. This is hardcore experience. Nature is teaching you. Vyavasthit ne samajh.
Everything is not in my hands. Okay.
You see, when things fall in place and goes click, 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 you feel I have done it. Arey, you have not
Yes.
done it. This is
Oh,
exactly what Dada Bhagwan told. That we have not understood Vyavasthit to the nth order. We have understood at the few orders.
yeah.
Scientific circumstances. So when things go our place, remember, because favorable circumstances came together, I could finish the project before time or the work before time, and I'm free. So when things
Okay.
go, just pause, and say, did you only did everything, or because you got positive support from persons ABC or events fell in place or
Yes.
situations fell in place?
Yeah.
If you pause at that point of time when things are going your way,
Yeah.
and then you will appreciate, oh yeah, because that man responded very well. This task was there.
Yes.
My computer was
Yeah.
working. Many times online satsang I want to do, I can't do it. There are other problems. We need the net
Yeah.
and computer and this and that. And when things don't go, I know why it doesn't go. So when it goes now, I recall I tell myself, see, so many favorable circumstances there, so your satsang clicked. Now I know this. The moment I know this, the day it doesn't click, I appreciate it. That 1 or 2 missing factors were there, so it didn't click. So I'm not responsible. So I don't feel bad about it. I tried my level.
Yeah. Yeah. So when things go well, I start thinking, oh, I did this right, and that's why it went well. So I'll do this all the time, and it'll be like this.
So you must remember that the typical classical example of Dada Bhagwan's, that if you want to make tea, you alone cannot make tea. You need milk, water, kettle, gas, stove, so many things. You are only one of the evidences. So now, in hindsight, just recall a few success stories where your assignments went in time and say, oh, because of so many favorable things, I could do it. I was one, but because of other favorable circumstances, it happened. The moment that sinks into you,
Yeah.
that for the success of anything, you need many supporting evidences.
Yes.
Then what will happen is that when things are not going your way, you will not curse yourself and overload yourself as an inefficient person. Some things are not falling in place.
Right. But isn't my mind under my control? I feel like, why isn't my mind clear all the time? Like it
is
should
not
be.
That is exactly what nothing is in your control. Your mind, body, speech is not in your control. It is part of Vyavasthit. To some extent, you can. To some extent, because we are now separate, we can do, to some extent, we can do Purusharth. This is exactly what you have to learn. Today, I want to do satsang, but I'm not able to do satsang because of some other reasons. My health is not permitting me to do that.
Yeah.
In spite of I'm taking n number of solutions. I do this, but nothing is working. One day it's good, one day it's not good. One day is good. What to do? I kept accepted. This is Vyavasthit.
Yes.
Then I can't overload myself. I try my level best.
Yeah.
To the extent possible, it is our duty. I try my level best.
Okay.
So this is the understanding you have to cultivate. Everything is not in your control.
Yeah. Even my mind and antaskaran, sometimes it's
there you are. Is there a live example? I wanted to do, I could not do it.
Yes.
Sometimes the project doesn't want this to happen in time. Sometimes you are unable to do it. It's not only you. There are many other things into play.
Okay. Okay.
The suffering is into play, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
So things
Okay.
are not in your control. You have to try your level best, desire for the best performance and all, and then just accept the way things are. And you yourself said, okay, at times things go click, 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 click. Therefore, everything falls in place.
Yes.
Things are not falling in place. Appreciate the missing links are there. To take it easy. Just learn to take it easy. I tell you one thing.
Yes.
The day you start learning to take it easy, you
Mhm.
can do it from tomorrow. The day you start learning to take it easy, I will try my best. Baki vyavasthit. In the work operations, work.
Yes.
You will be relaxed. And in that relaxed frame of mind, maybe your efficiency will go up. What you need is first to de-stress yourself as an underperformer. ठीक है ना, once or twice you'll not be able to perform. Forget it, yeah. But de-stress yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Unnecessary stress. This is unnecessary stress. I can't do this. This is not happening. It's so late. How to do this, that unnecessary stress you have to remove. Don't leave the work and the sincerity towards the assignment or task. That
Yes.
is as it is and the peak.
Right.
You are
Right,
fully
right.
loyal, dedicated, sincere.
Right.
Just do it, and you will. I tell you, I've gone through the same thing. And the moment I got distressed, I started accepting things. Okay, it's not falling in place, not falling in place. Never mind. Performance little less, little never mind. Never mind. But I am at peace. वो शुद्धात्मा व्यवस्थित शक्ति करता है, संभाव्य निकाल. अरे wonderful. And things will flow. And the
Yeah.
amount of distress that I had experienced, and that distress will increase the efficiency in work.
Okay. I will
Okay,
put
can
this-
we
guarantee
move
to
on?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Puja.
JSS and Pulinananji, Vitrag, Darshan and Charitra.
Jai Satchidanand.
We talked a little bit about earlier in the Pratavidi, you mentioned, the last line. Can you expand a little bit on the Sarvang Pane, Kevar Gnan, Kevar Darshan, Kevar Charitra, Parinamano. I was trying to come up with what I thought that meant, and I realized I'm still not 100% sure.
Yeah. What we say is Dada Bhagwan Vitrag Vignan Yathartha Karine means Yathartha means exactly the way he meant it, or the way Vitrags mean it to be, When he said Pratishthatma, what was Pratishthatma? When something from the Vitrag's viewpoint. Yathartha exactly the way it is meant to be. Not my interpretation, but someone else's interpretation. It is the absolute meaning. So Yathartha means exactly. यथार्थ करने संपूर्ण सर्वांगपणे संपूर्ण यानी in totality. Let me understand it in totality. The entire science totally संपूर्ण सर्वांग मडे means from all the viewpoints, all this.
Okay.
संपूर्ण and सर्वांग means totality and संपूर्ण means completely. I don't understand. Like supposing it's like you have to clean say a shirt. So let me clean it totally and completely. Means all the spots means sarvang pane from all sides and totally not a speck of that spot to remain, the dirt to remain. You clean it totally. Sarvang means from all the spots. So let me understand the science totally and sarvang pane means small part but totally and all the aspects of it.
Pulinananji,
And exactly.
we did this for the kids.
May the passionless Vitrag Vignan of the enlightened soul Dada Bhagwan exactly result into supreme knowledge, supreme vision, and supreme conduct, making me a par excellent person like him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, supreme knowledge, Kevar Gyan, Kevar Darshan, Kevar Charitra. Yeah, that's okay. It's nice. It's the sort of translation in condensed manner. But she asked me to expand on that.
No, that's fine. I'm just.
Yeah, thank you.
So I suppose Pooja, it makes it clear.
Yeah, no, that helps clarify a little bit. And then I had another question. I came across, like, I'm reading a couple of the Aptputras, maybe like the first, 10, 11, 12 in Aptputra 1. And I wanted to understand like examples of Viradhna and its relation, and is it related to your ego or not? I don't know, because I was reading that only when your ego dissolves, that's where pure humility will manifest, like Param Vinay will only manifest when your ego is dissolved. Then the next one was after that, it was talking about like when there's Viradhnas, even if you have the slightest Viradhna, then there will be no Param Vinay. So I was wondering, like, is there, when you talk about ego, are like Viradhnas, like Param, like Vinay, Avinay, Aparad, is that all like a component of ego?
Yeah.
Is that, can I understand that right?
It is the ego which is doing the Viradhana, which is doing the Avinay. And if it is, if the ego it goes down or reduces, humility sets in. And once humility sets in, that Vinay, Param Vinay, everything falls, automatically comes up. It is the interplay of the ego. Basically, the culprit is the ego. In our case, the discharge ego.
Oh, yeah.
If someone is really egoistic, he will feel, I've got this Jain Dharma, or I've got Dada Bhagwan. These are other inferior religions, the other religions, for example. Then that is Avinay and Viradhana both, You cannot put down somebody else's religion. Then saying something negative on the other enlightened persons or enlightened religions is Viradhana. Even saying something against Dada Bhagwan is also Viradhana. Or saying anything against any enlightened person of any religion is Viradhana. Now, when will that happen? When I'm something, I know it. That I'm something, I know it is that ego only. So, it is that ego which is under our watch list as a Mahatma and see where it is popping up. Typically, it is aided by Viparit Buddhi, the intellect, and wrong beliefs that we have brought. Things should be done on time, for example. Now, that will really hammer us out. Why is not doing on time? Because it's that my belief. Somebody who doesn't believe in anything, he will not hurt him. So the beliefs that we have brought, the intellect we have brought, that ego is actually blind. Per se, it alone cannot operate. It operates only under the guidance of somebody. Either it operates under the guidance of the buddhi, or whatever beliefs we have brought, or if we are jagrat, if we are alert, then it will operate under the guidance of prajna shakti also. Hey, don't hurt. You will hurt, do pratikraman. That is prajna speaking. So the ego is blind. They say, Dada Bhagwan says, ahankar andro, ego is always blind. Per se, it cannot do. It operates under the light of somebody. So either it is the Suj or Darshan that they have brought, or in our case, because we got Prajna Shakti, the enlightened, this thing. These two lights are our safe lights. If the ego operates under these two lights, then we are in safe zone in relative matters as well as in real matters towards moksha. But if Viparit Buddhi and wrong beliefs, if it comes under the influence of those, then it may take us for a spin here and there. We may hurt somebody, we may do something wrong, which may not be in our own self-interest either. Moksha, self-interest, real self. Then we have to take corrective action. So then, so that ego, if it is operating on wrong beliefs and or maybe under influence of somebody else, he's doing like this, even we may start doing like that. People criticize Muslims, people criticize terrorists, and we start criticizing terrorists. But why, why you should go out of Syadvad Vani Vardhan Mani? So this ego can come under influence of anything. So when it comes under the wrong influences, then this Viradhna, Avinay, and all that sets in. And then as you read sutras, as you attend satsangs, then you understand, no, this is the right thing. So then gradually then it starts listening to this part, the spiritual part of the Gnani's vision. Then the ego then operates on this. Then Viradhna thai jai, even if Viradhna takes place because of the pressure of the past karma, it will come back. Because the alertness will tell you, oh, wrong, come back.
And that's still your discharge ego going to the light of Vignan, right?
Because it has not become totally 100% Shuddharma, it is in between.
and they use the word like vad and vivad, like divisions and subdivisions, and kaida, like rules and regulations. That's all part of ego.
Ego will go hammer and
thinking
tongs.
like that.
Yeah. Vad vivad, he said something, argument and counter argument type of thing. Vad vivad means argument and counter argument. So then Gnani says vad upar vivad mana jaye. If there is an objection, argument, then we stop over there. We don't go to counter argument. He understands that nothing is going to come out of this discussion. So gradually he will withdraw and pause. Vati vivad upar java, then we don't go from argument to counter argument and insist on our viewpoint. We slowly withdraw it here. Even he says it is night, whereas it is broad daylight. He will tell once, twice, and then leave it. Okay, from your viewpoint, it is like this, and stop. That is a symptom. Just a minute. That is the symptom of a subdued ego. A higher ego will not allow you to. No, it is right. I can prove to you it is daylight. What do you think you are? That is the ego. When a subdued ego will accept, and humility and all that paramvina, everything will come.
Okay, Puja? Okay,
Yeah,
time,
that's helpful. Thank you.
our time is up. So please, can you do 3 months of Puja? Can you please follow?
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vazayanam.
Namo Uvasayanam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Uso Panchanamukaro.
Navaba Vapmanasam.
Savapa Vappanasano.
Mangalanam Jasavesim.
Mangalanam Chasavesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Next program, 7:45. We have Junior Forum. 9 p.m. we have Kids Satsang and Worldwide Satsang in Hindi. And we also be doing meditation on separation and corrections on 9 diamond number 1. Jai Satchidanand, please come forward and join us. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Bhagwan, Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Aptputra Mahatma, Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Okay. Everybody, Jai Satchidanand.
Gangadharan.
Jai Satchidanand.
And Jayama, why is she not coming and asking questions?
I'll tell her to come.
Yeah.
Jai Satchidanand.
Not in
everybody.
Hindi, not in English.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, is it okay?